This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts.
Hey, listener. This is Venice, and you're listening to Voice from the Underground, proud members of the Tangent Bound Network and the famous original podcast network. Welcome to the Underground.
Voice from the Underground.
My favorite podcast.
Voice.
Check out DJ.
Voice.
Check out Big Haas.
Voice.
Check out Dust.
My favorite podcast.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
Voice from the Underground.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Via You Podcast.
Welcome to the Underground.
Voice from the Underground.
What is up, everybody in the internet world? This is Mikey Famine here with Voice from the Underground, the place where politics and pop culture collide. I am joined by the man, the myth, the legend. Around here, we just call him Big Dog. Big Haas. What's up, my man?
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing out there?
Woo. Dutch is
We kicked his ass out. We said, fuck it. We taking over. No more of this white privilege bullshit when he just takes over the show and talks whatever the fuck he want to talk. We said, you guys to go. And then we went and got 2 white guests.
I was going to say we were pooling together money for bail. But that's way funnier. I'm glad you said that. Speaking of amazing guests, we have the Deb Sheppard, and JC of JC Radio. There's a word I'm missing. What is it?
If we're going to talk ghost hunting, it's Extreme Vision Paranormal is the name of the group that I've hunted with.
Yes.
Yeah.
But let's kick it off. Let's get to know who's here, Big Haas. The Deb, ladies first. Tell the people all about you.
Ooh, ladies first.
Ladies first. Karen's first.
Oh, no.
No, I'm not that. I'm a psychic medium. I've been doing this for over 20 years. I've been on the show once before. Thank you so much. And I guess we're going to talk about just about anything tonight. So I'm grateful to be here with everyone.
All right.
Glad to have you. And Mr. JC.
Well, I know I've been on the show a couple times, usually around this time of the year, to talk ghosts, because as a former paranormal investigator, something I used to do for quite a bit of time, and excited to bring you guys some fun ghost stories tonight.
Yeah.
And I think we should all just end the stream now, run into the other room, grab our costumes. This is the Halloween show. None of us dressed up. We are our children.
I'm dressed up.
You've been wearing masks for 7 months and eating candy. I don't think we would do one today.
That is true.
The COVID 30 is not a ghost story, let me tell you, because I was much more together than I am right now. Thanks, COVID. Appreciate that.
You should have came through the House of Pain and got that work.
Now, see, Haas is a personal trainer, which you guys have probably surmised by his amazing arms. And I've been over his house a few times for, just revelry, maybe an occasional salmon fillet.
Right. You like that salmon.
Man, that salmon was on point. He has this torture dungeon out in his garage filled with all of these instruments of just doom and despair. Where he here, what you're going to do is you're going to push this sled with weights on it up my incline driveway. And I'm like,
yeah.
Then he's got this rope that's as thick as my thigh. He's like, yeah. And then you're going to do this whole rowboat minute. No. He's a sadist.
It's just trying to help people improve their lives through fitness is all, We want to be the best we can be in all aspects of our life, correct?
You're trying to get me picked up on one of JC's scanners is what you're trying to do. Trying to murderize me. We have a viewer comment, which I can't unfortunately pull up on screen because all of our DMs will get out. Can't have that.
Right.
Where did it go? There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. It will just load up here. Oh, well, I lost it. I have to pull it back up later. We'll come back to it. Even though we do have very unique guests who are more in touch perhaps with the supernatural, the recent political climate could be much attuned to a graveyard. So I think both of you, even though JC, I hear that you're on one side of the graveyard and Deb, you might be on the other side of the graveyard. Do you guys have any election predictions for this year?
Go, JC.
You throw me under the bus first. I don't want to say I have any predictions. I think either outcome is going to be rough for the country.
I agree.
So, because I mean, we're so polarized right now,
Right.
that, especially if you spend any time on social media, you've got your own little probably private echo chamber that tells you exactly what you want to hear or see.
No, you can't do that.
So many do, though. And I think I put some up on Facebook today that said, either way, however the whole thing pans out, at the end, whoever's on the other side is going to be massively disappointed. And I see lots of, I see more protests, more, I guess, lawsuits and everything else that are going to follow with either outcome.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a peaceful transition no matter who wins. Either way, this is going to be, we're in it for the long haul. What do you think, Deb?
I've had this feeling at this point, not everyone's voted yet, is that Biden will probably have a win. But I think, just like JC, this is going to be a civil war. No one's going to go down easy. I've never seen the country so divided as it is. And the last 4 years with Trump has really brought up sort of everything that was, being hidden. Things that we thought weren't as bad as they are when it comes to racism and discrimination and all those kind of things. And so
I think it was hidden for some people, but other people knew, and it just wasn't being.
I totally agree with you, Haas. I just think that it's so transparent now, and we have a president that supports it. And I think that's why people are getting permission to feel like they can just be angry and we have no ethics anymore. It's just kind of thrown out there. And I really think that there's so much division that we're going to see. And like you said, Mikey, it's not going to be a good transition no matter what.
No.
Dana was listening, or had this guy that made he makes war games for a software company, and he put in 4 scenarios regarding this, and everyone came out as a civil war. The only one that didn't or as bad, is that if Biden won and he pardoned Trump. And
kind of bullshit. Yeah.
And this guy kept going through all these different kind of ideas of how this is what he does for a living, just try to figure out how wars go. And they couldn't get it to come out in a calm way. And Trump just kind of rallies his people. The thing with Biden, I don't think he's as strong for some people, but at least he will listen to other people. I think Kamala Harris was a good choice for that balance for him as well. But this pandemic and the election, we're going to have a really tough 2021 as well.
Can we just start over and next year be 2020 and we just count this one as a wash?
Yeah.
This was just a dress rehearsal and it didn't go well. So
I did a blog in January about having 2020 vision for 2020, and I never imagined this transparency of it. To me, it's ugliness of us as a human, as a country, that you do have both sides, but I can't believe I feel like we're going back decades.
Yep.
Could
Well, you know something that, maybe, in a twisted way, he was right, because he kept saying, "Make America great again." Take it back to the past. Let's take it back to because there was a survey or a poll done when he was campaigning, and they asked people, when was America at its greatest, at its peak? It was like they talked about the 1955 or 56 or something like that. And I'm like, that wouldn't have been good for me.
Yeah.
As a woman, I'm not speaking for you guys, but as a woman, having RBG gone, I don't want to go back 100 years as a woman.
Well, and unfortunately, it looks like a woman's going to help make that happen.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's it. And that, for how much we've worked to make change, to go back to a time period where, I don't know, it's just not good. Have any of you guys seen Handmaid's Tale?
I have not, but I've got to watch it now, because everybody's saying that it looks like art is imitating life right now.
It is.
My ex was watching that show, and I had to politely ask her, maybe you should watch something. She was getting so snippy with me, and I was like, I didn't do anything. She's like, no, we're on that show. I was like, yo, it's a show, man.
Yeah, but it's
maybe
so
put down the knife.
real.
Maybe put down the knife. Maybe just, it's a show. I just came home from work. I don't know.
Have you seen it, JC?
My wife watches it.
Oh, look out, dude. Look out.
Yo, wake up, just sitting next to the bed looking at you.
Yeah. I've gotten in trouble for dreams she's had. So
yeah, that happened.
Does that happen to you too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been there.
Who was that girl you were talking to? What are you talking about?
Where?
In my dream. You know what? Why don't you go ask Felicia about my dream then?
Yeah.
But
go ask that bitch.
I am concerned about our future. I mean, we have 5 days until the election.
Yep.
And we may not get the answer on election night. I know that it's going to probably take a few more days to get everything counted, because we're voting, of course, differently.
And here's the thing. Every day that we don't have a result is like giving credence to Trump's parroting of a fraudulent election.
Yeah.
That's why I hope it's a landslide on the first night.
And I really feel that there's some states that are already kind of flipping, but just hopefully people are voting and they're being honest, and they're not telling people they're voting this way when they're really voting another way. But we all have a few days to figure this out.
So JC, what do you? We have some troll in the chat. Dutch Jason, Deb, you saw this coming. Saying.
Okay, I don't have the lottery numbers either.
Right.
I don't get information that I'm not supposed to get. When Trump came into office, I was worried then. It's just that he showed his true colors over time. And
from the 70s.
Pardon?
I said from the 70s.
Yeah.
He showed his colors since the 70s.
And the way the way he handled the pandemic just lets you know that he doesn't really care about anyone but himself. He's a narcissist. So
I would say he's a sociopathic narcissist, but
so JC, do you think the pandemic, what effect do you think the pandemic is going to have on this election? Because I mean, if we were talking about this last year or 2 years ago about Biden running against him, and then that's one very different political conversation than we're having right now with COVID running around.
Yeah, I definitely think the pandemic had a huge impact on the election. I think especially for those undecideds and those who would probably be more in the middle, more centrist, and maybe some of those that voted for Trump originally, who kind of did it while holding their nose. Then once pandemic hit, they kind of have, just seen how terrible he's handled the entire situation. Mm-hmm. But on top of that, I don't think his core has shrunk any.
I agree.
So I think his core is there, and it will continue to be there. And, they will, it's almost he's almost Messiah-like to some of those people. So
especially those people walking home from the rally in Omaha.
Yeah, and
man. Did you hear he didn't pay the buses beforehand, and that's why they didn't show up?
It's amazing.
Of course, no, really. I mean, he has no history of stiffing people on payments at all.
And I guess he's also stiffed like the police forces in different places that he's done rallies.
Mm-hmm.
So this bus company said, okay,
nope.
We're supposed to get paid when we show up. We didn't get paid, and they said we checked. They haven't paid other bus lines, so we're not showing up.
Hey, it's not their fault, but he'll make it their fault, and they'll say, "Yeah, they should trust the president."
Did you guys see he got another endorsement today?
I did just see
it just came across not too long ago
from Jack Nicklaus.
Yeah.
No. You know who this is, Haas?
I saw Jack, and I'm like, Jack.
Is it Jay-Z?
Wheezy?
Wheezy F baby, don't forget the baby.
Oh
yeah. I'm like,
all right, how much scissor is he on?
That's what. Yeah, I was like, how much did he pay him?
right. Just like some of these other people, just like, come on, man, you know these fools got paid.
Ice Cube
wasn't endorsing him. I understand in theory what Ice Cube is doing. Anybody who has the power to make change, that says they want to talk about making change, you kind of owe it to yourself and your people to talk to them and see what's up.
Maybe flesh it out a little bit, Haas, in case people don't know what you mean when we brought up Ice Cube.
All right, Ice Cube has this contract with Black America, and he is wanting to talk with policymakers about this contract with Black America. It's basically a Black economic empowerment contract, for lack of a better term.
And still president, so this is what he's working with.
Yeah. So what he's trying to do is talk about, the tenets in this contract with Black America and how to get it implemented as actual policy. So of course you want to talk to whoever is a policy maker and might be able to do something for you for that contract. But we know through history that we've watched 4 years of a person do whatever he can to help disenfranchise Blacks with little drips and drops here and there, so he can point to them and say, "Oh, but I did this. I'm not racist." Like,
I got your rapper out of jail in Sweden.
Yeah, like he gave some money to the HBCUs, but then he signs an executive order that could make HBCUs ineligible for future federal funding. So he gives you a crumb here, but he's taking the loaf over here. You know what I mean? But he points to the crumb like, "Oh no, see what I did? And
a lot of times it's Congress that pushes it. He just signs.
Yeah.
So it's not him coming up with the idea, wanting it to pass.
And I feel like given Trump's history, his actions, his words, his rhetoric from before he was president to now, Ice Cube should have been a little bit more prudent with going to talk with him, because he should have known that was smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, and isn't it another Nebraska bus or another hotel that he has said that he's going to pay these people or do something, and then he uses it for publicity, and then as soon as they're there waiting for the check, he just disappears.
Exactly.
Out of here on Air Force One, baby. Peace out, Girl Scouts. Y'all have fun out there. It's cold.
You know what I do?
Is there anything better than a Trump rally in the cold? And then they went, yeah. And then he left, and they were like, ah.
Right.
What I am respecting is a lot of Republicans that are military, including generals and admirals, are saying things like, this is not right. And I have a lot of military people in our family. My father-in-law was a retired general, and for them to go forward and go against a Republican president is pretty phenomenal. And for them to be transparent and say it on film says a lot about these men and women that are in the service.
I've got a friend of mine who is he's basically still active in the Navy, and at the beginning of our friendship, we met via social media. At the beginning of our friendship, you know, it was like just before Trump and everything. And he was just like, he would message me offline and say, I can't say anything against the president publicly, but he's a fucking asshat. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
But it's gotten to the point where he and others that are still active duty are on their social media, just like, this dude is the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's gotten that bad. It's gotten that bad where people who were once like, hey, I can't say this, you know, publicly because I'm in the military and I'm active, but he's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Two, I have to say this publicly so you guys know how bad he is. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
And one more thing on Ice Cube, that he got, I want to say, dragged on Twitter. And then I was watching Roland Martin's program, and there was 7 or 8
Shout out
people.
to Roland Martin, Alpha Phi Alpha.
Good old Ro, Uncle Ro. He looks just like my Uncle Roland, and it's creepy. It messes me up every time I see him on there. But they all went up there. It's like, you know, Black people have been trying to get a very similar agenda accomplished for the last 30 years.
Right.
We're already fighting towards all this stuff. So why did you go to Trump 13 days before the election like that was going to do something?
You know, that's a good point.
What are you going to do in 13 days? He may not even be here.
Yeah.
So why are you trying to fight us? And why are you discounting us when we have been here, could have used your celebrity to help push all of this stuff forward? Right. But instead you say, I'm doing my own thing. It's like, well, that's very dismissive to everybody who's been fighting the battles in the trenches this entire time.
And he didn't seem to have an answer for that either.
He's Ice Cube and he can do whatever he wants. Well, sorry, really. Ice Cube, you're only one person. So
yeah, and the thing is that you're exactly right. I mean, a lot of the tenets in his contract with Black America are things that have been, you know, talked about for years and years and years and years and years. So
the Congressional Black Caucus, he outlined what they had already been doing and said, this is my plan. They're like, where have you been?
Right. He Melania Trumped it.
How do you guys feel about 50 Cent?
He's rich and he's selfish.
Okay, get that money.
It's that for him. He's rich, he's selfish, and unfortunately, people of all stripes get a lot of money and have a measure of success and forget where they came from. He forgets that he's saying how to rob.
His ex-girlfriend, though, Chelsea Handler, nailed him, though. Did you hear that?
Mm-mm.
She said, do you remember you're Black?
Right.
And where you came from?
Yeah, some people think that, like some people think that the uniform changes them, and some people think that the green money and the status and the power changes them. But guess what? You know, the purpose of being blessed in this way is to help and be a blessing to others, and to support policies that are going to disenfranchise those that are of lesser socioeconomic standing than you are. That's actually a dishonor to your blessing. That's not an honor to your blessing. No, you're just like you're like this. You're like, I got mine. I got mine. I want to protect it.
I'm about to use this blessing to drop these taxes. What you talking about? I'm trying to get out of this whole tax hole. I'm not. They're not finna Wesley Snipes me.
Just pay your taxes, man.
No, they finna snitch on everybody else, and they ain't paying a dime.
$750 is what they want to pay. $750.
Oh man,
can I pay that?
So what did you think about the wind killing birds and all that?
You just laugh. You listen to this guy talk, and you're like, how are otherwise intelligent individuals listening to this guy and saying, that's right. He's got my vote. This dude could not say Yosemite.
Oh yeah, Yosemite. So do you know that
Yosemite?
He has a golf course in Ireland, I think it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they built those wind tower turbines.
Yes.
And he was so upset. So that's why he hates these wind turbines. And I think it's hysterical.
They kill all the birds. They suck all of the air out of the atmosphere.
And you get cancer.
Yeah.
I was waiting to say that, and I was like, I couldn't hear you guys. I had too much wind cancer in my ears.
Yeah.
I just couldn't.
You know, he.
We can't have like a comprehensive health plan to help people who are dealing with COVID, but we're definitely not going to have no damn cancer causing windmills.
Right. And people, and then he tries to act like, you know, wind is the only choice, or solar is the only choice, when it should be a conglomerate of all of the renewable resources that we have.
Right.
You know, and all of those, like last week we were talking about nuclear and or nuclear as he likes to say.
Yeah.
Nuclear.
I can't pronounce it wrong.
And what's funny is
I miss Bush.
This guy,
man.
this guy is the guy trying to talk and crack on Joe Biden for his gaffes.
Right.
But this dude, that's why I couldn't be Joe Biden, because I'm like, man, spell Yosemite. I'm sorry, spell Yosemites. Spell it for me.
And what's funny is that his son-in-law is Jewish, and he's calling Yosemite. What is it?
Right.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Yosemites.
Yeah, Yosemite. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh no, let's not even get into Kushner, you know, because of course, you know, Mikey and I, we don't want to be successful. He wants it more than us. And you know, he can't help us because we don't want to help ourselves.
Right. I read that. That was just like, do they not know what they're saying, or they're just ignorant? I mean,
privilege jades you. When you have had success basically spoon-fed to you since you came out the womb.
Lil Wayne.
You know?
Lil Wayne.
It's just it jades you. Like, look at Lil Wayne. Classic example. Comes from poverty. He's been rich basically since he was what, 17, 18 years old.
He got signed with Cash Money at like 13.
Yeah.
His first single was like at 14 or 15, and he's been rich ever since.
Yeah. So pretty much his whole formative life, he's been rich. So what type of ideology do you think he would have? He hasn't suffered enough yet, obviously.
No, but I believe that I have a lot of friends that are very, very wealthy, and they're from birth, and they're actually really good people. I mean, they're very caring. I think if that's your personality, it's always your personality. Money just made it more obvious and worse.
Oh, money makes you more of what you are.
Yeah.
You know, status and power makes you more of who you are inside. If you're an asshole, you're gonna be a bigger asshole. You know.
So JC, I know you're a DJ in your free time. I just want to talk about the. I want to talk about the 50 Cent Lil Wayne mixtape that you're producing, and how much is it gonna cost for the average consumer? Did you have anything else to add on the Lil Wayne thing?
No, I just saw one of my friends posted earlier. So,
and Lil Wayne is a dwarf. He must be 5'4".
Yeah. Did you see the picture of him and the president standing next to each other?
Yeah.
I was gonna see if I pull that up because it was fairly hilarious.
He is a tiny little man. I didn't say this, but I read this somewhere. Someone said Lil Wayne looks like a gremlin that you poured Mountain Dew on.
Wow. Well, while we're talking about stature, can we talk about the way Mango Mussolini stands? Can we talk about the slant that he has when he stands?
Maybe he's got really.
Why does
heavy
he stand
heels.
like that? How does he stand that? He looks like he's in the Smooth Criminal video in the Lean.
Haas, you have too much time on your hands.
I'm just saying they showed a picture of him at profile standing at a podium.
There it is.
And his chest was right next to the podium, but his feet were about 2 or 3 feet back from the podium. He's just staring like he's like this. I'm like, what are you doing? My God.
It's them bone spurs. They help you plant it in place.
Yeah.
Just had a great meeting with @Real Donald Trump at POTUS. He doesn't use POTUS. You don't even have to put that Lil Wayne. Besides what he's done so far with criminal reform, plan is going to go in to give the community real ownership. He listened to what we had to say today and assured he will and can get it done.
Okay.
This sounds.
Have you ever noticed that Donald Trump never talks to real intelligent people from black leadership?
No.
Like he hasn't picked up the phone and called Ta-Nehisi Coates. He hasn't called Tavis Smiley. He hasn't called Dr. Cornel West. He hasn't talked to Dr. Joy DeGroy. He hasn't talked to Dr. Carol Anderson. He hasn't talked to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. He hasn't talked to Thomas Shapiro, who wrote The Cost of Being Black. He don't talk to people like that. This is what he thinks of us. If I get a rapper to agree with me, the black people will follow. And that shows who he is.
So
he took away. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Why do you think these men of color are supporting Trump? Because because
he appeals to their
tax
need
burden.
he appeals to their tax burden, but he also appeals to their need to look like they're doing something.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
Why are you guys doing this?
And I can almost guarantee you he reached out to them and said, hey, let's have a meeting and discuss this. Because he is doing what he knows that he's behind. He knows that the prospects are grim. So what is he doing? He's doing everything he can in his limited view to get votes. I gotta siphon off some black votes, especially black male votes who sometimes tend to subscribe to the patriarchy as well, because there are many black men who did not vote for Hillary Clinton simply because they didn't feel like a woman should be running the country. And that's sad, but it's fact, you know?
Yeah.
And they'll stay home or vote for Donald Trump because they don't want Kamala Harris to be that close to the presidency.
Really? Wow.
Oh yeah, because they know that Joe could kick. They feel like Joe could kick any minute, and then Kamala would be president, and we don't need no woman as president.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, it's a lot of patriarchal current and undercurrent in the black community too.
And Roland Martin had his press credentials taken almost immediately back when they actually had, like, this is something I just remembered. When's the last time we had a press conference?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't. It's been probably a year.
He don't want to answer. He don't want that smoke.
Since Sean Spicer and Kayleigh McEnany and my girl Kellyanne Conway with the rough nails, like all of them have been completely out of the picture. It's just they just shut down all. Like there is no press.
Well, Kellyanne's been out of the picture because she's got COVID.
Yeah.
Could she be patient zero?
Could you even tell if she had COVID? Kellyanne Conway has severe symptoms. You're like, I can't tell.
Can you imagine what that household is like with her husband, which is a Republican attorney, but does not like Trump whatsoever?
He hates Trump.
In the bedroom.
Oh my God. And there's a lot of HFing going on there.
Oh man.
I hate you. I hate you too.
But that was the thing though. Like he had every opportunity to have all of these interactions with intelligent black journalists, and then whenever they would,
their press credentials.
And then he took their press credentials, or he would just shut them down, or he would call on someone else next to them, or he was super rude and disrespectful to them.
You're a nasty person for asking me that type of question.
He's like his own show. You're fired. I mean, he's still a reality star. He's not really a leader in this country. Jason's kind of quiet.
I'm just hanging out.
He's waiting on the ghost stuff. I hear you. What do you think? Ghost stories or humidor? How you doing on that cigar? Should we wait a little bit?
I'm about halfway through. No. Actually, we could do it now if you want.
Oh,
I don't want to. Oh, it is a good cigar. It's a really good cigar. Really, really good cigar. I probably shouldn't be smoking it with you peasants, but I'm sorry.
Deb is not a peasant, just me and JC. How dare you?
Thank you, Mikey.
Well, you peasants and the Duchess. You're still beneath this cigar.
Hey, I was raised for 2 years on a train, so I think I'm more of a peasant.
Down here in the dirt with us. All right.
No, but if you want to do the humidor, we can.
That music.
Welcome to the humidor with Big Haas. Find out what Haas is puffin' and drinkin' today. If you try his suggestion and you die, that is natural selection, and the VFU podcast is not responsible for you being weak effing sauce. now, the one, the only, Big Haas.
I'm not on drugs.
One of these that's really strong.
Hello, Mr. Haas. What are you drinking on? What are you smoking on? And welcome everyone to Haas's Humidor.
This is a really good cigar. I don't think I've had it before. I actually had a sample pack of different Vitolas, but I don't think I've ever reviewed it on the show. And if I have, and it deserves it again. I'm sorry. I'm really smoking on royalty right now. I am smoking the Padron 1964 Anniversary Series Maduro.
Ooh.
Okay. So if you are a cigar person, you instantly know the name Padron. Padron cigars is synonymous with exquisite cigar construction, quality, flavor. Somebody's shuffling paper.
Got it.
So this is a box press, and I'm actually smoking on it comes in several Vitolas. They're all box press. They come in an A Maduro, which is a Presidente, and an A Natural. I have the Maduro, which I love Maduro cigars. The Natural is probably got a little less punch to it, but I love a Maduro cigar, and it comes in a Bellicoso Maduro and a Bellicoso Natural. They both the Maduro, the A, the Presidente, the Bellicoso, the Corona, the Corona, the Diplomatico, which is a Churchill. They've got a ton of different Vitolas. I am smoking on the Exclusivo, which is 5.5 by 50. It's a box press. I love box press cigars. It's got the little flat on the top and bottom here with a size around it. I don't know why I like box press cigars so much, but I do.
Excuse me, teacher. This is student number one. I was just wondering, what kind? I see there is some sort of a cavity at the tip of the cigar there. What kind of cut would you say is on that cigar you're presently holding?
This is a V cut. A V cut. I like the V cut because it is the hybrid of a flat cut and a punch. So you get the draw of a flat cut, but you kind of get to savor the cigar more because you're not cutting across the whole cap of the cigar here and creating the surface area. So you don't burn as much. You know, you kind of slow down the burn a little bit, but you still get a good draw. At least for me, that's why I like it so much. But this is called a V cut. There's also a straight cut where you cut right across. There's the punch. Sometimes I'll take a fork and I'll literally do my punch that way, and it creates these little bitty small holes. And I do it that way because it makes the cigar smoke longer to me. But when I take puffs off this cigar, the flavor profile is complex. All right, it's definitely intricate. I get some coffee bean, I get some cocoa, a little bit of some type of nut. Pause. It might be hazelnut or pecan or something. Not sure. It's really for a full flavor, for a full profile cigar. It's so smooth. It doesn't overwhelm you. It's full of flavor. It's full of nuance, but it's not like like that. It's like yes. It definitely deserves the 95 rating that it got from Cigar Aficionado.
Damn.
It's a 95. I mean, this cigar, that's why I said I'm really smoking on royalty today, because you don't see very many cigars with 95 ratings. And
it's 95 out of 100. Out of 100, right?
Out of 100, that's correct.
Yeah. Damn.
So the wrapper is a Nicaraguan Maduro.
Nicaragua.
Of course, this was crafted in Nicaragua. It is a puro because the binder and the filler are also Nicaraguan. Okay. And here's the thing, and this is why I probably am going to regret smoking, because this is the last one that I had. Everywhere I look to try to find more of these, they're out of stock. So you guys are special because I am smoking this cigar on the humidor, on Voice from the Underground, the podcast, because I love y'all so much, and I want to give you a review of a top flight cigar. This cigar is not inexpensive. It is expensive. A pack of 5 of the Presidente 8.5 by 8.2 by 50 is $172.
Whoa, wow.
I told you, man. I told you.
But it's just tobacco.
This tobacco is all right. So I mean, if you get the Corona Maduro, it comes down to about $60 for a pack of 5. So that's not bad, you know, but they're all back ordered or delayed or out of stock. I think I've been looking, and the Exclusivo, if you want a natural, you can find a natural, but if you want a Maduro, you got to buy the box of 25 for $320.
Wow. All right. Everybody make sure you go to patreon.com.
Right.
I'd smoke
cigar. This is, and let's not forget.
What you drinking?
I've got it paired with the 19 Crimes Cali Red. Now, well, you know what? I'll just talk about the Cali Red. And I go talk about the other 19 Crimes that I like. This Cali Red is pairing very well with this Padron because it's bringing out some of the sweetness. Ooh.
The Cali Red is nice. And 19
and you know what it does? The wine is bringing out a little bit more of the earth and the spice in the cigar. It's a little bit more pronounced if I take a sip of wine and then take a puff. So it pairs well because if you I like spice, and I'm coming around to liking the earth profile more. So, you know.
Did you? I know I sent over a bottle of that Cali Red. Did you try I think it was called Punishment or something like that?
No, the Uprising.
The one in the rum from the rum barrels?
That's this one.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. There's about a quarter of this bottle left. That'll tell you what I think of it.
Do you got the app that goes with that?
I don't.
Have you ever done it?
There's less than a quarter of this one left.
I need to do it too. I heard the pictures on the front, they'll start talking and tell you the story of how they got to get sent down to Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like an augmented reality.
Mm-hmm. Like you hold your phone up
to it,
and it'll just start talking and telling you a tale. I'm like, oh, word? You tell me there was an app that came with this bottle of liquor.
Right, there's an app for that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Now, on my leaf scale, this is definitely a 4.9 cigar.
What?
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, this is a great cigar. And I'm a little I came across the sampler pack that I got this from, and it was like you get like 6, and they're all different Vitolas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I came across it on a really, really great deal, and I was like, I'm getting it. I gotta get it. And this is the swan song for that sampler pack. I had that sampler pack since before the pandemic hit us hard. So March.
Before the dark times.
Yeah. So I've had that. This is the last one, and I've had it sitting in the humidor for about 2 months as the last man standing. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna smoke it tonight. My girl Deb is back on the show. JC's back on the show, freaking me out.
Yeah.
You know. So Dutch is not on the show, so I gotta smoke something special for that. Celebrate. You know.
You're gonna be mad in the morning.
This is a phenomenal cigar. It's a phenomenal cigar. Padron 1964 Anniversary Series. It comes in a ton of different vitolas, so whatever you like, they have. I believe every vitola is a box press, though. I'm not 100% certain on that, but everyone that I had was box press in the sampler. And I love box press cigars anyway, so it was right up my alley.
And another successful installment of the humidor in the can. Thank you, Big Haas.
Were you even born then, Haas?
1964? No. I had 8 more years in the chute.
Well, I had just graduated from Harvard that year. So,
yeah, Dutch is from the past. I mean, Mikey's from the past.
So my daughter, when she was in college, she created that app about how you can put your phone on something and it will talk like the wine bottle.
Really?
And she did it for wedding cakes. And I said, I will put money, I will invest money for you to get this going. And she didn't. She was out in Rhode Island. I said, sweetie, this is something that you can make big. I will put money into this. And she's the first one that actually created that app in college.
Wow. And then she left it.
I could have been a rich mama.
See?
I'm trying to tell you. Now you can lord it over. You can hold it over her head.
Yeah, I will.
Like, hey, remember that app? Remember, you wouldn't be asking me for money right now if you had done what I said about that app. I'd be asking you for money.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, I told you to do that app. Now that's why you're rich.
Yeah.
Give me 10,000.
Yeah.
I just need a little 10 grand stipend.
Just let me hold a little something. Like Simi said from Coming to America. Don't take my pocket money.
That's my play money. That's just my little play
money.
My little
this boy had a knot this big. He's like, don't take my pocket money.
Well, seeing as we are almost upon Hallows Eve and we're in all spooky, I think it's ghost story time. What you think, JC?
That's fine.
Bringing it on stream now.
All right. So, yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about, because I don't think I've ever really done this. And what's cool is you guys now have the visual and the audio. So I know that you've got you're just playing your listeners.
Hey, is that a picture of the inside of my house from 44th and Stewart? I used to eat those paint chips that look like
it's not good. Not good.
That's my
paint chips.
That's my ankles in January.
Right. Hey, I'm sorry to go on a tangent, but let me tell the story real quick. I had to tell my son, Cam, my oldest son, he came over to the house from his mom's, and I looked at his leg. I said, no. We're officially a triple portion of lotion season, dude. In the summertime, you can get away with 2 pumps, and you could get the 2 pumps per body part. Now you're on 6-pump protocol, dude.
Yeah.
I say you can't be out there like that. Look at your ankles, look like you've been kicking flour or something. Working a powder donut factory, dude. What you doing?
I'm an internet hostess.
Right. This bug, man. He's like, I put the powder on all the donuts.
I dropped the whole tray before I clocked out.
And he's light skinned. He's beige.
Oh.
So you know how ashy you got to be for the show on beige. Okay. Like I'm black. Look at my hair. I washed my hands before I came down here. Look at that.
All right.
Like I've been punching bricks, right? So, but
had you beating the chalkboard erasers out of
right.
sight.
After I wrote I will not talk in class 100 times on the chalkboard. I'm sorry, JC. Go on with your Borofield.
I'm glad the chip paint can bring up so much memories and
heartache and pain and poverty.
Yeah. But with the ghost hunting group, many Halloweens we've done plenty of presentations around the area, Chicagoland area, all the way through where I'm at in Starved Rock area of Illinois. And one of the things we take out is to kind of talk about how I got into ghost hunting. One of the big things for me was, we had some paranormal experiences growing up between me and my sister, and then all of a sudden we just got hooked on these shows. When reality TV really took off, there was a British show called Most Haunted, and I think it was one of the first paranormal shows on TV, and it was of course in Britain, and then it was piped over here on like A&E or one of those other networks. And I just loved watching them. They did live investigations and things. And then from there, we ended up with all the Ghost Hunter series, Paranormal State for a few years, Haunted Collector, Fact or Fake, Destination Truth, which I think is Switch Networks. My favorite, The Ghost Adventures. They're one of my favorites. I just think they're hilarious. I don't think
is that with Zach Bagans?
Yes, I love them. I went to Zach.
My daughter had a crush on him for the longest time, and I'm like, "You're talking about the dude with the Gumby on the top and the mud flaps on the side?
Yes,
that dude. You got a crush on that guy?" She's like, "Oh God, yes, he's so hot." Like, do you know how much hairspray is in his hair right now?
He could be in Hurricane Zeta, and his hair wouldn't move. So it's just very, he is very Gumbied on top. But he is, he's a modern day P.T. Barnum, and I think that's why I enjoy his stuff. Do I believe it?
Did you hear that? Did you get that?
Yeah, it's yeah.
It's literally the wind going through a window.
Come on, this guy he owns a mansion in Vegas.
Yeah,
that he has turned into a haunted museum. And he charges $40 to go through the thing.
Yikes.
And you get to see Michael Jackson's death chair. You get to see Patrick Swayze's tooth. And
I don't want to see Patrick Swayze's tooth.
People pay.
Did it get knocked out by accident in Roadhouse? Because then I might want to see it.
And then there's all sorts of like weird stuff. Bela Lugosi's mirror. He's got a whole like wing devoted to clowns. But if you like the macabre stuff, then I would encourage you to go check out his museum in Vegas. It was something else. I'll just put it that way.
Okay. If I ever get back to Vegas, I did that totally wrong.
Yeah.
The first and only time I've been to Vegas, guess what I did? I got married.
Yeah, I was just then divorced.
I went to Vegas and got married at Bally Hotel in the chapel in the basement. And guess what? If I ever go back to Vegas, I'm never staying at Bally Hotel, and I'm never getting married in Vegas again. It did end in divorce, unfortunately, but that's the only time I went to Vegas. And here's the thing: we got married in Bally Hotel, and we walked the strip to Caesar's Palace to have our like reception dinner, and there were literally chicks walking by me the other way, like, "Oh, what a waste."
Hot
chicks
up.
What a waste. Oh my God. Like that. Oh my God. What a waste. Oh, you came here to get married? And I'm like, dude, Mom, she's standing right here, dude. What are you doing?
What are you doing? This is Handmaid's Tale all over again.
It was crazy.
You know what they say? What happens in Vegas, Haas?
Yeah, but
Vegas.
No, not at that point. First person in life to get married and divorced on the same day.
You would be the first.
No. So, JC, do you feel these ghosts? Because I can do when someone says their house is haunted, I don't need to go there. I can just kind of transport energy. So, did you become more intuitive over this time by doing this paranormal stuff?
And I believe there are certain people who are sensitives. And I think there are people that I've been on investigations with that are sensitive. I know I sometimes get the weird tingles, like you just feel like something's coming.
Right.
But sometimes I wonder if it's if it's really something that's coming and that we're gonna experience, or is it just I'm just getting really anxious?
It's the anticipation.
Yeah,
it's anticipation.
Yes,
it's the psychosomatic.
Yes,
and
and that's what I wonder. But I've had some investigations where, and I know, the Ghost Hunters team, they call it poltergeist activity, which is something completely different, where poltergeist can be, it's not like the movies. It's actually something that can be generated by an individual.
Right.
So there's something going on with that individual who may not be attuned to what they're feeling, and they're projecting these things that turn into like paranormal experiences. And I have had those experiences, like, one of my favorite, it should have been a favorite place, but we went to Sadamsville Rectory. It's in Cincinnati. It's a pretty well-known haunt.
What is it? Rectory?
And the thing is, when we walked through it the first time with the owner of the house, it was like we were hearing voices, we were feeling things. It was just everything about the energy was off. As soon as the owner left, there was nothing. It was completely empty and bare. There was no anything else happening. So I think
a speaker system on his body or something.
I think it's. I just think sometimes people bring it with them.
Yeah.
Like
so a lot of times when I go in and do these houses that the people say are haunted, it's exactly what you're saying. They're bringing it in. I look at their stuff and go, wait a minute, what are you bringing in here? And it's sort of like the energy is being attracted. So I mean, I would love to go with house hunters or ghost hunters and go, okay, I'm feeling this. What are you guys picking up on? That would be a lot of fun part of it.
Yeah.
So how
how
does that happen? How do people are people? Is it just the energy that they give off that attracts these otherworldly beings or these spirits from the spirit realm, or is it something intentional?
JC, you want to answer?
How are they giving it off? I have no idea.
Yeah, like, because you said that when they left, everything left.
It just goes. And I mean, all this stuff, I think, it's all there's no real science to it. I think a lot of it is like, is based on things that we've experienced and then try to make an explanation for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure. So I mean, I wouldn't even be able to tell you why it happens.
We all know that you meet somebody and you're going, I mean, by the time you're done talking to them, you feel completely the life is sucked out of you. We've all had that person. And so that person kind of attaches this energy, whether it's negativity, whether it's, they're narcissists, whatever, they bring this energy and they it's kind of like, remember in Peanuts, the one character that had all the dust around him? It's sort of like that. They have this dust cloud that they bring. And we've all been with people that you walk away and you go, God, I feel so great. And other people are going, I can't do that again for another year. I mean,
my first wife.
The one you left in Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So
I was gonna say Dutch, but I was like, that's too mean.
No, Dutch is a good guy.
No, he's a good guy.
So I think that when you look at feeling people and knowing people and reading people, it's all energy. I mean, Einstein said you can't create energy and you can't destroy it. So it's the energy that we're all connected. And so that energy can basically make footprints that can affect an energy in a home or a space or the land. That's what I've done. JC, you're more experienced in this than me.
Well, I mean, and you're a psychic, right, Deb?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you've got more background on that than I do. I mean, we've done a few investigations with people who claim to be, and those, sometimes I enjoy those more because like when it's just us with our equipment, which is pretty much just this, we've got our K2 meters, a lot of the same stuff that you see on the TV shows, cameras and all that stuff. Of course, our audio recorders and things. I mean, we bring all that stuff out, laser grids, whatever we can do to somehow trap the energy or find the energy or find some way of tapping into energy. And
what's a K2?
A K2 meter. It is a very fine way of detecting electromagnetic fields. It's a little bit more sensitive than the regular EMF detectors.
Okay. So it's like an ectoplasm.
Sure.
Detector.
Yeah, because the theory in ghost hunting is that just as Deb was talking about energy, is that we use these different meters that detect electromagnetic fields, because the idea is that when a ghost manifests itself, it draws upon whatever energy it can and makes these giant EMF or electromagnetic field spikes. So with the different tools that we have, if all of a sudden we get a spike like that, then we're like, okay, well, what's going on here? And sometimes like the K2, which I'll show you here on the screen here with my mouse, the K2 has these lights. And what you'll see sometimes on the TV shows is what they'll do is they'll get the K2 set up in a position where they believe they're interacting with a spirit, and they'll ask yes or no questions and have the K2 light itself up so that you can actually have a little conversation with a spirit.
And they affect electronics. Like I have a lot of electronic issues in doing my work. And it comes with what you're talking about is they love to mess with stuff. And especially if it's a young male, they always like to mess with my stuff. So, I'm sure your equipment gets that way too.
Yeah, we've had some weird things happen. I actually have one this is actually, in my town. This is a place called Masik Mausoleum. It's in Spring Valley. It's an old Lithuanian graveyard. There's a lot of fun stories about this place. Am I freaking you out?
Yeah. See, I can tap into that and probably tell you a story.
Nope.
Really?
Oh yeah.
This thing?
Uh-huh.
Well, the thing is as my wife grew up in this town, they used to talk about the hatchet man who protected this. But I think every town has a hatchet man.
Yeah.
I think that the parents tell their kids that there's a hatchet man in the graveyard just to keep them out of there.
Right.
So they don't run around in the graveyard in the middle
to keep you out of the graveyard. I don't understand why there has to be a hatchet man.
Well,
I never needed a hatchet man story to know.
the
graveyard, dude.
The dead don't hang out in a graveyard, just let you know.
Okay.
I
still ain't going.
I saw the documentary Thriller. You can't fool me.
Yeah.
Them bodies was rising
They'll
up, and
come right up.
There was break dancing, popping and locking. They was doing all kinds of stuff.
Well, the thing about the Masik Mausoleum is there's actually some books, and it talks about like vampires in Illinois, and they have tied some vampire activity to this Masik Mausoleum, where apparently the total urban legend here,
right.
But it's a great story. Apparently a Vietnam War vet had just got back, and this was like early 70s. He got a little drunk, is talking to his buddies, and they said something about pouring some holy water because there was apparently a vent or something in the side. So the guy was a little tipsy, whatever, got some holy water, poured it into the vent, and started hearing like a hissing sound. And then he started backing away from the mausoleum, and apparently something jumped out of the back, and it was something that resembled like a guy with like a sunken in face and had fangs and big ears and stuff.
Now most people when they get drunk as hell, it's nighttime, correct? So where the hell you just pop down to the 24-hour CVS and get some holy water?
Some holy water, right? Yes,
in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Churches are open at nighttime. You can get holy water.
Thanks so much, Deb, for giving credence to this malarkey.
He stopped at the CVS to get a bottle of Aquafina.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Runs into a priest. Accidentally touches said bottle of water, thus blessing it.
No, when you go into a Catholic church, they have holy water when you walk in. You can grab some of it.
Yeah, maybe they just left it open.
Yeah, okay.
And so, Haas, you didn't believe in any of this stuff until I gave you a reading. You were crying like a baby.
Oh, baby. Yes, Deb, you had me. It's not that I didn't believe it, because I think I told you, I've definitely had spiritual interactions. I was just kind of
gonna jump up.
I was a skeptic of psychic mediums,
right?
Per se. I definitely believe in the otherworldly. I definitely believe in the spiritual and aliens and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like a lot of mediums, is just kind of on BS.
Yeah,
but
I do agree.
Deb Sheppard is one of the real ones, because man, oh man, let me tell you, listener, she had me blubbering like a little baby.
So
she talked about my grandma.
JC, was this mausoleum, was it from some really wealthy people?
It must have been. I mean, the cemetery has been abandoned. I don't want to say abandoned, but it's pretty close. Like it's an old Lithuanian cemetery. We live in a mining community.
Them vampires ate them miners.
Yeah,
they ate those miners. Dude.
Oh, but they. I'm not quite sure exactly. I need to do a little bit more research on the history of the Masik family, but
is there like 8 bodies buried in there?
I'm not quite sure exactly how many are in there, but I mean, you could see by the pictures, it's fairly large.
Well, apparently, according to the story, it's only 7.
One of them's a vampire.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I'm just gonna describe what's on. If you want to back it up to like the beginning of this video, maybe describe it, because I keep forgetting that this is audio as well. So maybe people won't understand.
Yeah, no worries. When we're talking about the Masik Mausoleum, and Deb had asked about equipment malfunction, and this was one of the instances where we were out. I've got a FLIR heat camera, and so we were just kind of checking, because one of the claims of activity is that the door gets either really hot or really cold. And this was actually right before Halloween a few years back when we did this. right?
And
It does.
parts.
And what's interesting is you can see the temperatures outside is like 46, 47 degrees. And then when I put the temperature gauge back onto the mausoleum, you know, it's warmer. But what's weird is that the temperature drops almost 20 to 30 degrees. And so right here, I went up to from 52 degrees, and it goes all the way up to, I believe, 80 degrees in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, so that's in my world, that's very common for temperature changes. It's not like the movie Sixth Sense where, you know, it's that cold, but I can feel a temperature drop during certain visits with certain spirit world. And the temperature changes are a really big deal. So to me, that's like so cool because it's their way of saying hi, and we're here, and we know that you're here.
Hey, don't say hi to me when I'm 8 in my house. That's happened to me in my youth, where I'd be walking through the house, and all of a sudden it gets one half of my body is super cold, and the other half of my body is the normal temperature. Stop saying hi to me. Don't say hi to me no more.
Just to let you guys know, Dana went to get a battery or a charger. I'm down to 1%, and so if you lose me, it's not ghosts. Just so FYI.
They got her. They got her.
I bet the ghost would. That's what the ghost told you to say, right? Sniff twice if you're under duress.
Yes. This is a church, so churches have so much energy.
Yeah, and this one was kind of neat too that we were able to get in. I'm not really able to say much about it, but I'll tell you, it was a Protestant church. And there, what was interesting is like we saw a shadow figure while we were there, and then also caught some crazy EVPs. And what's wild is I had read like right around Halloween, the church, the main church denomination had put out this whole thing about spirits in the church and stuff like that. It was pretty interesting. I thought it was kind of wild that they were sharing that. And one of the things that they talked about was these banshee-like sounds that they were capturing at all these different churches. And what's weird is this was several years after I visited this location and did the hunt. And then I realized I'm like, I have audio of this from the same church. So this is a weird phenomenon that's happening. Now, when you hear me say EVP, what that is an electronic voice phenomenon. So what that is like, we'll be talking and asking questions, and we'll be sitting here and nothing will be responding. We won't hear anything with our ears. And so if somebody sneezes, somebody coughs, somebody breathes real heavy, somebody farts, we tag that audio. So that way, when we go back and do review, we know, hey, that was a train, that was somebody in the room, somebody whispered, all that stuff, you know, because we've got people who have been with us for many years, so that way we make sure we get clean audio for playback and review. And what I thought was interesting, so the first thing I'm going to play for you before I get to the banshee noises is hoping you'll be able to hear this.
What city was this in?
What's that?
What city was this in?
It was in Northern Illinois. That's all I want to say. I don't want to give it away.
That's okay. That helps.
So, but we had just seen the full body apparition. Basically, the way that this church is laid out, their main floor, the ground level, is kind of like a main greeting area. There's some office space, some bathrooms, and like the nursery for the kids. And then you go upstairs to the where the worship services and stuff are held. But we were downstairs in the nursery, and the main office for the church was right across the way from the nursery, and one of the investigators had seen a full body apparition. So we had changed our cameras around and everything else to try and capture it. We weren't able to capture it, but right after that, we captured this.
Can I before you hit play?
Yeah,
I want to freak out Haas a little bit more.
Okay.
So Haas, guess what? I did a little digging, and in my digging, Jacob Masick was a butcher.
The butcher of Spring Valley.
Wait, hey yo, what do butchers carry?
Butcher knives.
A fucking hatchet, bro. It's that
Whoa!
hatchet, man.
Open your third eye.
Open the third eye up there. It's the hatchet man.
Activate your pineal gland, Holmes.
Let's JC. Let's hear what you recorded.
All
yes.
Right, go.
Were you out here walking around, checking us out in the nursery?
I heard that. Yes.
We don't alter our audio, so this is straight off the recordings. We don't like filter it or anything else. So this is exactly what we captured.
Play that again. Play it again. Play it again. Play it again. Play it again. The whole thing.
Oh, here we go.
Were you out here walking around, checking us out in the nursery?
Woo! Ah! Ah! It was real quick. It was real quick. Yes. Oh, I'm out. Peace. 2 fingers.
And then here, let me. So again, we're upstairs in the sanctuary for these. What you're about to hear, you'll hear one of our investigators talk, but you're going to hear a noise. No one reacts to it because we don't actually hear it when it happens.
0.6. 0.7. Come on, keep doing it. Make it go higher. Come on.
So she's counting out numbers because she's looking at her EMF reader.
Oh, okay.
Numbers are going up. So while the numbers are going up, again, I'm going to show you like right around here. I want you to listen because something happens there.
I heard like a woo.
That's it.
0.6. 0.7.
So my feeling around this feels like someone's excited that you're there.
Could be.
Like
visitors.
Yeah.
Hey, let's break out the good china.
Big Haas, get your dictionary out. Translate that from Lithuanian. I got a theory.
Woo-hoo. Okay.
All right.
That's like in Kanto when they go, ooh, ooh.
Yeah. That old YouTube video. Where they
5-0. It's 5-0. 5-0.
Muffler tips. Isn't that the muffler tip video from the early days of YouTube?
Oh my God.
You remember what I'm talking about?
A little bit, yeah.
Sorry. Going
good times
for that. All right, here we go. And then this is another one.
See, it's interesting because Heidi, your wife.
Yeah.
There it is again.
Yeah. Play it one more time.
That's not.
It's interesting because Heidi, your wife.
Yeah.
Somebody's excited.
So the woo 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 that you're picking up on. Okay.
Yeah.
It feels like a young male.
It's Al Jarreau. If you woo woo woo.
Stop it.
I'm sorry.
JC,
I don't even know if that's Al Jarreau. I think that's Al Jarreau.
JC, do you have a history before you go in, or do you go in cold?
Well, this location I have a history with. So,
okay.
But you know, well, and here's
now you got video with this as well.
No, this is just audio.
So how do we know it's just not one of y'all in the background going?
Well, see, we typically, you know, and at this time with this investigation, the entire team came together and brought all the data together, and then we all talk about it.
Okay.
Was there a suicide there?
What's that?
Was there a suicide there?
I don't believe so.
I'm getting someone not able to breathe.
Deb's picking up on something.
Oh.
She's picking up on something.
Eerie. Okay.
Eerie.
Yeah.
We gotta do some digging. We gotta do some research.
Sure. And it could also be someone nearby, or it's the land before it was built, or someone, you know, decided that that's a great place to hang out.
Maybe they're trying to flag somebody over.
That,
maybe they're not excited that someone's here, but they're just like trying to bring someone's attention to something like, woo woo, hey, Chico.
The deceased wants my attention all the time, so this is not unusual for me. I mean,
you're talking to Deb.
Yeah, I mean, people come to me and they want to have a message, so I don't think this is unusual. It's just you're using more technical science equipment to prove it, which I think is cool.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, they got the shadow figure in the basement near the pastor's office, and then, you know, we got the singing in the sanctuary there with the woos in the sanctuary, which I thought that was interesting. They kind of tied in with something that the church itself had put out is about kind of like banshee sounds, because it almost sounds like a banshee to me.
Well, yeah, in a church too, you have people playing music. You have a lot of people that go to church that have gone through really hard times, that are looking for hope. So that would be a great way to kind of, be in that spot. So
the reason we ended up at this church was because the pastor's wife got a full body apparition like a few weeks before we got called, and it was a parishioner who'd been a huge part of the church. Like, he was involved in everything. He was part of the choir. He took care of the, so much of the day-to-day operations of the church. So it was a huge loss for him, for the church, when he passed.
You know what? It's probably a huge loss for him too, and that's why he's there.
Yeah,
because that was his sanctuary.
What did he die of, JC? What did he die of?
I don't remember.
Was it a hatchet?
I don't know. It was something else, but but what's wild is she was so descriptive of what she saw.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were having a choir practice, and like after everybody left, she was left in the sanctuary to kind of lock things up and turn things off. And after she came out of a door, he's standing right in front of her, like less than 4 feet on the ground. And it's like he's there, like he's alive and he's full figured, and he's speaking to her.
Could she hear him?
She can't hear anything.
Well, it's an intuitive way of hearing. So apparitions, it takes a lot of energy for them to be visible.
Yeah.
So they usually don't talk a lot. They just show their energy. But if they are not an apparition, they can use their energy to communicate. So he chose to use that to really be a vision for her. And, when you look at religion, that's sort of, they need to see it visually like that in order to really embrace it.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just trying to sing in the choir, and y'all replaced him with Deacon Johnson, who sucks. And he's like
trying to tell you that Deacon Johnson sucks ass.
He's trying to get his spot back in the choir, maybe, and he doesn't want to be replaced.
Hey guys, I need to sign off, but I want to thank you because I really want to know more of JC stuff. So, do you have a website about this stuff?
Yeah, we're just thedeadspeak.net.
Okay.
Thedeadspeak.net, where you can find a lot of the stuff and some of the case files and things we've done over the years.
Yeah, I would love to. This is my fun part. So if you ever
are you unable to get a charger?
Yeah, it's because I have someone else's computer. Because anyway, long story. But anyway, I do want to look at this, and you guys, this is always so much fun. I'm glad we had to talk about politics and, of course, my favorite ghosts. And you guys have a great Halloween, and let's see what happens.
Yes, you too.
Do you got time, Deb? Do you got time for one more EVP before you head off?
Okay.
Can I drop this one on you?
Sure.
All right. This one's Scott Mansion, Joliet. And
I live in Crest Hill, dude. That's right next to Joliet. So thanks so much.
I tried to play this for you last time, or maybe you remember this. I think I played this for you before, Haas.
Okay.
Basement of Scott Mansion. We don't hear this. You hear people talking. They're actually with a TV crew, and their audio picks this up, and it is by far one of my favorite EVPs the team has ever gotten. So here you go.
Oh, we're the move that area.
Did you hear that?
That was a dog.
It sounded like somebody was moving a desk or something.
Yeah. So right in here, if you listen carefully, you'll see. But you can hear it. Like, it gets cold in the basement. I think it was cold anyway, because I think it was like November, and there was no heat. But you can hear the person who's with them saying, "Oh, it's really cold down here," and then all of a sudden, right about here, you just hear this real demonic sound.
Oh, we have to move that area.
Yeah. See, I'm out.
What do you hear? Did you hear?
It's like it sounds like a demonic growl. That's what it sounds like to me. Like,
yeah.
Play it one more again.
Play that section right here so you can listen.
Oh, he said get out.
Yep. That's what we got here too.
Yeah. Love to stay, but gotta go. Too bad.
Too bad we can't stay, baby.
Yeah, this is a great house. Too bad we can't stay.
Yeah. You know, I tell people I'm more afraid of the living than I am the deceased. And I mean, with these spirits that are in these places, in my opinion, and JC, you're the expert in this part, but I just kind of feel like sometimes they're grumpy old men, or they're just they're having fun. I don't think they really want to hurt anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think those things happen? I think what JC and I said earlier, some people bring this stuff on too. And I think there's a lot of that piece of it. But if you're going to have an old house like this and with land, there's history. And I always say there's multiple footprints, and that energy is going to stay in that space.
And you got to remember too that a lot of these old houses and things like that, they buried their dead on the property. So
yeah, but the body is not the soul. So there is energy with, when people go to, grave sites, they're all like, woo, well, the dead are not there. That's just the body. But I think
explain that more. Flesh that out more for me.
So when the soul leaves the body is just a human suit to experience Earth.
Right.
And so the soul continues on. That's why we can communicate. That's why JC is getting, all this technical stuff, they're able to pick up the energies, because the energy still continues. And people go, well, are they stuck? I see more living people that are stuck than the deceased.
The deceased are just hanging out. They're just
hanging out. They don't we don't want to come back. We're gonna, and I think that a lot of them feel like there's unfinished business. I've done some work in Denver.
So I can haunt my wife when I'm gone. I'm older than her, so I'm definitely going to be passed on before her. So,
well, it doesn't mean you're going to go before her, even though just quit smoking and drinking, right? No.
Talking about.
I'm drinking here too, guys. But
what you got? What you drinking?
Vodka tonic.
Hey.
Okay, all right.
Spirits.
You keeping it funky?
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to do a podcast, it's late. But when I go to these old homes in Denver that are considered haunted, a lot of times it's just people that have unfinished business and they're just holding on. And so it's getting them to understand that they're not, their bodies are not here anymore. So you're really trying to help them. Is that what you agree, JC?
I do. And I mean, we had, there was a place in Chicago that was called Blue Star Auto. And it used to be the Cullerton Hotel. And we went there, did an investigation and stuff. And we don't typically pass things over. That's not something that we do. We just bring data. But one of our team members was moved so much by something that she caught, and they actually communicated with, that the group of them helped pass this entity on to the light. Like it was a way, like she just felt like she had to do it, like because of the lost soul that was. They found by communicating, they found out this woman was a prostitute who, worked for probably the mob and got stuck, and she'd been in this place for decades.
Right.
And so they were just so emotionally moved by it that it was like, and then once they helped her pass, just the room lifted, like the air, everything just got lighter.
And for them, decades is not decades like we experience it. So their time and energy, so for them, it might be a moment in time. And for us, when we look at the time frame, maybe, 40 years, 50 years or more, but they're not in that same time frame. That's what I've experienced anyway.
Wow.
Well, you got, JC, I would love to talk more about this. Yeah. To me, this is my fun part.
Cool
we
stuff.
get to really bring these things together. So I'm sure that we'll connect again. But you guys have a great Halloween.
You too.
Cross your fingers for November 3rd and throughout this year until January 20th.
I got my feet and all my toes on my feet across right now, too.
Absolutely. And I'm always honored to be on and to be a guest. So I'm so in gratitude. And it's fun being with another like-minded person like JC with the spirit world. So that's a new one for me.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool. It's always an honor to have you on.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Deb. And all of your information will be in the show notes, and I'll put your Twitter up there and all that stuff. So everybody, if they want to follow Deb and her awesome content, they will know how to get a hold of you.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Deb. All righty. Okay. Oh, look, what is this?
Peekaboo house.
Oh no.
Is that another name for a whole house?
Stop it.
No, actually, we ended up naming the house the Peekaboo House just because of what we caught there. This was actually caught on a DVR video camera, and it's like security camera, so it's got infrared, so we can see in the dark. And so this camera was facing towards the window. On the left of the window is our two investigators, and there's a K2, which is that unit I was telling you about where we can ask questions that lights up, and it's sitting on the arm of the couch. And about 21 seconds into this video, if you look to the left of the window, you're going to see some light come in, and we weren't quite sure what it was, but I'll just give you guys a look here. Again, about 21 seconds in. I'll keep the counter on here, and I want you to look right here.
Oh, snap. Yeah, actually, I can take that all the way full screen. Boom.
All right, here we go. In just a couple seconds here. Look to the left of the window.
On the wall or in the window?
In the window, right there. Did you see that?
No, I missed it.
I got just.
All right, so I want you to look right here.
Okay, yeah.
Right there.
Oh, what the hell is that? Is that a bird?
Now, here's the thing. We did everything we could to figure out what the hell this thing was. We shined flashlights. We drove cars up and down the street. We could not reproduce this anomaly. So it almost, to us, looks like the side of a face kind of peeking into the window. And that's
like, who that? Who there?
We called it the Peekaboo House because it looks like something's kind of peering in. What's wild is at the beginning of the video, you'll hear the investigators say something like they get a hit on their K2 and they say something. And I don't know if the audio is picking up or not, but.
Are you done talking to us?
Are you done talking to us? Is what she asks. And then right about just 6-7 seconds later, we get this here. Watch it again.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Are you done talking to us? No, I'm just gonna peek in through the window.
We'll peek. We'll say what's up.
And just lurk outside the window.
Yeah.
Now that was outside the window because you guys were in the house.
Yeah, we were in the house, and we think it's either peeking in through the outside or somehow it's showing up.
Is that upstairs? Is that on the second floor?
There's stairs to get in, so the window's probably about 8 or 9 feet from the ground.
Like the grass, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we tried shining flashlights and everything else to kind of figure out if we could reproduce what we were seeing. Let's try to see if I've got anything else that you might be interested in. This was I actually didn't do this investigation. The other team did. It's called Ashmore Estates, and it's in Illinois. And I'll just show you this one real quick. Some weird light activity. Again, another weird light activity. And I kind of zoom in a little bit. You see the girls react to it here. But watch right here by her head. Right there, it just happened. They're like, wait, what is that? And I'll zoom in here so you can see. Because the two of them are creeped out. Like, what the hell did we just see? Something just flashed by your head. They're talking about these balls of light. And then when I rewind it here and I'll zoom in, I know these DVR cameras aren't the greatest quality, but you do still get to. I mean, they capture quite a bit.
Now, before you go on, so a lot of your stuff is at night. So is that because it's easier to see them at night, or you find that they're more active at night?
Well, you don't get as much sound pollution because people are up and doing things during the day. So we're able to get, quiet, no car sound, stuff like that when we do it at night.
What's this? I'm sorry. What?
This is Ashmore Estates.
And what am I looking at there?
All right, they're in a room, and right here, the girls that are sitting here, and there's a lady laying down here.
Wait. So that's an actual live person just laying there chilling?
Yeah, there's three people in the room here.
Nope.
And then she's laying on this cot or something, and then these 3 balls of light just show up behind her head.
Now, see, you didn't tell me there was 3 people in the room at first. I saw something behind homegirl's head on the left. I didn't know it was the other girl in there. I was like, oh shit, there's eyeballs. Oh.
Yeah, so 3 girls, and then there's, like I said, the flash of light that happens here, and I'll do a replay here, and then I'll zoom in so you can kind of see it better. But they react to it, so they see it happen, and then we just managed to capture it on the DVR.
You want to stay in the Zoom for a little bit?
There it is.
Oh shit! Out. Bye.
There it is. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. No idea what it is, but
that's close encounters of the third kind right there.
Yeah. But like I said, they saw it with their eyes, and we were able to capture it too. Because sometimes people will see stuff we don't
have. Ashmore, Illinois?
Yeah, Ashmore Estates. I'm not quite sure. I didn't do that one. I'm trying to think where that's located.
Because there's a Ashmore, Illinois.
It might be.
I'm on it.
It is in Ashmore, Illinois.
Oh yeah. That is.
It is. Let's see here. This former almshouse once part of the Coles County Poor Farm.
Coles County. That's why I know, because Coles County is where Eastern is.
Oh, so that's like east or like central Illinois, but a little bit to the east there. Yeah. Oh, it's right next to Charleston.
Yeah.
Oh, and Terre Haute. Yeah. Okay.
I knew a girl from Ashmore. That's all I'm gonna say.
She was a ghost. You didn't know her.
Oh. If she was a ghost, she was a succubus.
Stop it. Get us all in trouble. What are you doing, Haas?
This was before I was married.
You think that matters? You think that's gonna save us?
Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
That's it. I got I'm trying to think if there's anything else I got here that I could share with you, but I think that's some of the best stuff.
Okay, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
So what type of things do you have on the horizon? Are you still actively hunting, or what's going on?
I kind of taken a break last few years.
Did you get spooked out, or did you just kind of
run out of time?
Well, we've done a lot of stuff, and then family life and everything else, and I've got some I've got a full-time job and some side businesses. So
you Jamaican. You Jamaican?
Do my hobby stuff anymore. What's that?
I say you Jamaican. You sound like me. My kid the other day was just like, man, Dad, you have so many jobs. Because like I'll come home sometimes. There's some days where I come home and I'm home for a while. I'm home during the day, then I'll go and do some other stuff. Then I'll come home for a while, and now boom, I got to go back out again. And he's, where are you going? I got to go to my other work. And he's just like, whoa, you got so many jobs. But I think that hopefully that will inspire him to work hard too. So
he'll have no choice.
Yeah, he'll have no choice because you got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Speech hospital, like, once you're 18, it's over.
Yeah,
you're packing your bags.
Yeah, my daughter's turning 21, and that's when the countdown comes.
You won't be haunting this manor. That's for damn sure.
I'm about to make this an office.
About to set up all my podcast equipment up in here so fast.
The podcast room. That's exactly right. The day she's moving stuff out, I'm moving stuff in.
Excuse me, don't hit my microphone, please.
Right.
Well, I think it's been an event.
It has.
I think this is a pretty cool Halloween show. JC, thank you so much for joining us. Let me pull your banner up real quick. That is JC's. I'm choking here. It's probably an apparition or something. His Twitter handle at JC Phillips Radio. And then the website is one more time.
If you want to check out the EVP stuff, it's deadspeak.net.
Is it Dead Speak or The Dead Speak?
The deadspeak.net.
Okay.
Make
sure people go to the right one. Very, very cool.
I hope it's working. I haven't been there in a few years.
Uh-oh.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay.
I clicked on it earlier. So we should be all good. That's all I got. Everybody, if you enjoy independent media, by all means, visit us on Patreon, www.patreon.com/BFU podcast. Every little bit helps us get to our goals so we can get new gear and pay for all the streaming stuffs. So by all means, please, cup of coffee a month, maybe like $300 a month.
Yeah,
something small.
You know, half a car note.
Half a car note a month. That's all we're really asking you for.
I mean, come on. For just half a car note a day, you can support starving podcasters.
In the arms of the angel.
Be a blessing. You've been blessed.
Okay. Big Haas, take us out of here.
All right, I will. I spoke about this earlier, and I just want to reiterate it. You know, we've talked about 50 Cent and other very rich people supporting people basically in their own interest. And there's something to be said for that, of course. You know, you want to look out for yourself and things like that. But, you know, I've always lived by the mantra that my grandmother taught me: the greatest way to honor the blessings you've received is to work to be a blessing for others. And I think that if more people thought that way, especially collectively, how can I help the people that aren't as blessed as me, or aren't as privileged as me, or just not in the same state of life that I'm in at this moment? How can I help them? And I think that if we spent more time utilizing our blessings, whatever they might be, to be blessings to others, and that might be utilizing your vote to help advance policies and measures and ideas that don't necessarily help you. You know what I mean? I know that I'm taking that on an abstract, you know, because people like to think of honoring your blessing by being a blessing on the individual, personal, one act at a time level. But I think that those that have been blessed and have that privilege, a great way to do that is to think a little bit outside yourself, sacrifice just a little bit of yourself in order to help the collective. I've always been one where if I know my tax dollars are going to go to help those less privileged than I am and less blessed than I am at that moment, because blessings flip in an instant. So if I'm going to help other people in any way, I want to do that. And that includes in my vote. You know, as I vote, well, I've already voted, but, you know, I looked at platforms and there were some things that I voted for some people that I voted for that wanted to advance measures that they had nothing to do with me. It had nothing to do with helping me. But I knew that these measures and these policies that these politicians at least said they wanted to advance were going to help a group of people that needed it. And I think that if we took that ideal and took it more from the personal and thought about how can I help a bunch of people? How can I bless a bunch of people? How can I help to at least attempt to bless a lot of people with a single action? It's your vote. It's your vote. You know, of course you want to advance policies and measures that are going to help you. But I think that if we thought about using our vote to be that one vote big blessing, because if a lot of us do it, then a lot of people are going to get blessed. And you're a part of that. You would be a part of that. And I think that you need to think about that. Think about that. If you and a bunch of people vote and vote to advance measures and then vote to try to put politicians in place that are going to do things for a lot of people and bless a lot of people, how amazing is that? That's an amazing thing to say, you know what? I voted for that guy and he went out and did that. And now 10,000 people have something that they didn't have before that's really going to help them. Wouldn't that be great to be a part of that? Think about that as you all go into the polls if you haven't gone yet. If you've got a mail-in ballot or if you've got a ballot and you have not turned it in, I don't care what political affiliation you have or whatever. Take it to a drop-off station and put your vote in, because there are certain entities on the right side of the aisle that are working very hard to make your vote not count if it doesn't arrive or is not there on November 3rd. So if you want your vote to count, make sure you get it to a ballot box. Go to the Board of Elections and drop off your ballot. Your voice and your vote counts. That's all. Peace.